And what was the third thing I said?
Love.
That's right, what you love. So, let's put this aside for now. We wanna get some information about you so we can follow up with you. But I wanted to talk about the first thing that really matters. Notice I haven't talked much about your money and what you wanna spend yet. There's a reason for that. The state of Minnesota also has another law, it's a good law, by the way, it's called agency representation. And this is called agency disclosure. It says, well, who works for who? Remind me that you said your friend from college is a real estate agent?
Correct.
And in what state was he in?
Wisconsin.
Okay, so, does he do well?
I don't know, I don't keep in touch with them.
Okay, good. Well, the reason I asked if he did well, because as our industry unfolds, we find that referrals keep us alive. That is, referrals are the best source of business. So both of you referred from somebody else we sold a home for. And that was in the last dozen years. In fact, this document we're looking at is from 2014. We actually started doing this in about 2000, I think it was 10 or 9. It's called agency. And the reason is that this document is to tell people, well, who works for who? You've never bought a home before, and even this has changed over the decades. Who works for who, right? So this is not a contract. It says right here, it's not a contract for representation. You're not hiring us. You're not telling us we're representing you. This is a disclosure. We're telling you how our industry works. Now, I prefer, and I'll circle this, I prefer to do what's called dual agency. That means I work for you, right off the bat, okay? And I'm not even gonna charge you money up front. Our team doesn't do that. Some brokers do, we do not do that. But we work 100 miles an hour, 100% for you. And I do, we do dual agency on our team. And what that means is we're able to show you any listing that this office has. Remember I said there's 320 agents we network with? Wouldn't it be a shame to take and scratch all those homes off and you don't wanna see any of them?
Now, David, before you get too far into dual agency, I have read documents online that say the dual agency is bad in real estate. Can you elaborate on that?
I'm really glad you brought that up. I wanna show you, it even says that here. Okay, I wanna show you something. Here's what it says. Remember, now, lawyers write all these documents, but this is what it says. It says that, due agency requires the informed consent of all parties. That means the sellers have to agree to it too. And means that the broker and salesperson owe the same duties to the seller and or landlord and the buyer. This rule limits the level of representation broker and salesperson can provide, prohibits them from acting exclusively for either party. Okay? Now here's what's really important. In dual agency, it says that confidential information about price, terms, and motivation pursuing a transfer will be kept confidential unless one party instruct. Let me tell you what that says in pure English. It says that as a dual agent, if I know something about the seller that I think would be detrimental if I told you to him, I can't tell you. Here's the best part. If I know something about you that'd be detrimental to you, I can't tell the seller. Unless both of you agree, both buyer and seller, to let me share information. And I do all the time. I just ask permission. So for example, and that's a good question you had, let's just say that we found your perfect home, and I think you said on the phone you needed 4 bedrooms with 4 kids, and a set of twins. You know, twins there. 36, so the 2 boys could be in, 2 girls in one room, the older girls, but we needed at least 4 bedrooms. So let's say we found a perfect 4-bedroom, and I think you said it at least 2 bathrooms, and at least a 2-car garage. Let's say we found that in your price range, where you wanted to live, right? And it had you to have some of the likes and one of the loves you had on your list. And what if it's a listing for this office? So how would I use information that you want to keep private possibly? Why would I share that with somebody? Well, let's just say your lease is up, as you told me, June 1st. And in the middle of April, we find a home that's listed by our brokerage. And that couple suddenly found out they were getting transferred out of town, and their motivation was they need to move fast. And you allowed me to share that information with them, that your lease is up and you could close that and take advantage of their situation on your benefit. Would that be a good thing?
Yes.
Okay, now where would I not wanna say that? Now, let me just explain, as dual agent, if you said it's April 15th, we need to get out. I don't, but the seller's not that motivated, I might not tell him your lease is up June 1. I don't want them to see that you're more motivated than you are, or maybe that they perceive you are. So the information we share is always going to be information you allow me to share. That may answer some of your question, but keep in mind, I just wanna tell you, of the 5,500 transactions my team's been involved with, I don't actually know the percentage that we're dual agency or not, but I can tell you, I've practiced dual agency my entire career. And I've always found if I always tell you the truth, and I always tell the seller the truth, even if it's another agent in this office and it's their listing, if I always tell the agent the truth, nobody can get hurt. Tell the truth, or don't tell at all and just say it's private information. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let me run through this quick. So this document, I'm gonna go through these, and as we go through these, make arrangements for both of you to take advantage of the time we have to go through this, because I really wanna turn the screen on, and I really want to show you, I want you to be able to leave with homes you might wanna take a look at and possibly buy. So this is not a contract, you're not hiring me with this particular document. Some agents can say, I'm only gonna represent the seller. There are, sometimes I've done that, but it's more historic, I don't do it very often. I only represent the buyer. That will happen with you every time we sell a home that's not listed by this brokerage, just so you understand that. So if we look at any of our competitors, including other Keller Williams franchises, we're only representing you. We don't wanna represent anybody else. I mentioned dual agency already, I circled that first, because that's critical, that's my favorite. Because otherwise I can't show you listings that are listed by this brokerage. And remember I showed you, this is the top brokerage in Minnesota, which you really don't wanna, I wouldn't want to eliminate that opportunity unless you chose. On the bottom it asks for a couple of initials. Before I tell you to initial, I'm gonna flip this over and go right down to what those initials are for. I'm one of the few agents that wanna talk about this. And the reason I do is because I want you to see, what are you initialing? You're initialing that you've seen this paragraph. What this paragraph talks about is sexual predators. Okay, they're offenders, I call them perverts. And the fact is, if you go, I say that to everybody. And I say if there's any live perverts, they go live, yeah, they shouldn't be alive, but if they're alive, you gotta know where they are. And they go, what happens if they're alive? Well, they got shot. And I agree they should. I'm a little conservative, maybe a lot conservative. Okay, so I flipped over, I'm skipping these for now because I wanted to hit this, that if, remember you said you had 3 daughters and a boy? Well, no matter how old or how many children you have, I know you're concerned as a parent, like I'm concerned, I have 6 kids. Do I wanna know who my neighbors are, or what if there's a predator in the area? So here's the beauty of this form. You can go call that number, go to that website, it's not 100% correct, because it's not updated enough in my opinion, but that gives you one option to check the neighborhood that you're moving into. Any questions on that? Great. So let's talk about facilitating. This is an option I rarely do. Remember, I'm gonna remind you on the other page, it was seller's broker, buyer's broker, dual agency, okay, facilitator. I really push that away from my team and any client. I only do facilitation when I'm dealing with real estate investors that are professionals or developer builders that are professional. Here's the reason why. A facilitator basically gets paid the same. We get the same amount of money in most cases. The difference is, even though the commission's usually the same, I don't work for anybody. I just get paid. I don't owe you anything except confidentiality. And you think about that. If you're gonna ask our team to represent you, and we're gonna do 100% representation, 100 miles an hour, and take care of your family, you're not paying us either way, but we're getting paid, right? with the exception of the administration fee I talked about on the phone, which we'll cover in a moment, we're getting paid, and we wanna do our job. So I'd recommend you don't consider asking us to be facilitators. Is that okay with you? Good. Okay, so lastly, from item 63 to 77, these are the duties we owe you, and I'll be brief on these, because I think we wanna get to turn the screen on and look at homes. So, the fiduciary duties that owe you is loyalty, obedience, disclosure, confidentiality, reasonable care, and accounting. You can actually read about what that means in each one of those categories, or would you like me to read them now?
We're good.
Okay, good.
Old cars, awesome.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. Before